Evening, Nancy. Good morning,
Hello!
Chinit.
Good morning.
Yes. Good morning to everybody watching on the live stream and watching on the replay. We're live with the Nancy Reyes Lumen, streaming live in Houston, and we have a very special guest, the R&D manager, general manager of the Aristocrat Bakeshop, and Chinit Lacson will tell us the story of
Yeah.
the bake shop. No? I've always been curious, Nancy, the story of the bake shop because I know maraming mga cakes that originated from that bake shop, and
Yes.
we'll be talking about that story here in Awesome Live. So my name is Antonias, founder of our Awesome Planet, and we're Awesome Live with Chinit Lacson. Can
Hello!
you do a short film? All right, we finally have Chinit in the house, Nancy.
Hi. Sorry.
Bakit Chinita ang pangalan mo, Chinit?
According to my mom, it's because I have small chinita eyes. My real name is Delia Margarita. Has nothing to do with my real name, but born chinita looking, so they called me Chinit.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
May
Yeah.
Chinese blood pa? May Chinese blood kayo? Wala.
I'm
Parang
not sure. On my dad's side, no. My mom's side, I'm not so sure. Tita Nancy, would you know?
Wala.
maybe
Pilipinong-Pilipino yata eh. No?
maybe a
Yeah.
trickle. Hindi, mga mistisa sila, my cousins. She's my niece. But
Yeah.
Chinit is a double Ilonggo name. Saldariaga na, Lacson pa. But her mom is a girly Reyes Saldariaga, my cousin.
Tagalog, yes.
And finally, I think this is a good chance for her to need to tell us the original products that were really invented by your mom or created or promoted first and foremost by your mom. Okay, tell us your story, Chinit.
Okay, my story, my bake shop story. I actually started working for the bake shop very late na. I started working there January of 2020
No,
before
wait
the
a minute.
pandemic.
No, wait.
Yeah,
Before you go into that, we
yeah.
have to know more about you first. How did you get into
Okay,
baking? When did you first
okay.
hold your first spatula? And of course, you had traveled, di ba? And
Yes,
when you were still single, and then
teenager,
when you got
yes.
married. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So it started actually I didn't from what I remember when we were young kasi my mom when she started working in Aristocrat Bakeshop during the time she was actually very busy all the time at home preparing our baon. She would make brownies, she would make fruit cocktail cake, she would make chocolate cake. So around the kitchen she would allow us to like to maybe mix something like cheese pimiento or make our own sandwiches. So parang at a very young age, the culinary training was there because it's something that she also used to do with Lola Ashang when they went to Baguio. She would mention that they were allowed to go out and socialize in the afternoon after a whole morning of going with Lola to the market and then buying onions, buying ingredients, chopping everything. So parang it's really, I think it's in the blood of every race to train their kids how to cook or how to be around the kitchen. I don't know if it's survival skills or really, just teaching them to learn how to love cooking or baking for that matter because my mom is more of a baker than a cook. Parang she's more creative in the baking sense than she is in the cooking sense. So growing up that manner plus my dad also when he would take us to the beach always without yayas. So without yayas we had to fend for ourselves. We had to cook even for our dad when we were like 10 or 11 years old. So the cooking is really there. Um, After when we went to Italy naman, This was during my college days. I
Why
learned
were you in Italy? Why were you in Italy?
because my dad was posted there as ambassador during the term of President Aquino. So
Mhm.
we were there. I went to finish my university at the American University of Rome. So during my stay there, I met a lot of. I mean, obviously, I met a lot of Italians, and then my dad's secretary naman, she was also Italian. The his translator is also Italian. And during short vacations like Easter or like summer holidays, they would bring us to their home province. So in the home province, you meet the nonna and you meet like all of the cousins and the uncles, and they teach you cooking. They like to be around the kitchen because they're a lot like Filipinos. They have very big family gatherings, and during the
Uh,
family gatherings, they sometimes they will teach you their secret recipes, sometimes they won't, but like it's really parang life parang in the kitchen. And then with my friends naman back in Rome university, after like when we would go out at night after like a night in the disco or a night at the bar, it's always they would always say facciamo la spaghettata. And when they
What's
say
that?
facciamo la spaghettata, it's like here kasi after going out at night, we usually go to places like Aristocrat to eat like after midnight, arroz caldo, and like have coffee, have like heavy breakfast or early like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning breakfast. In Italy naman kasi it's the spaghettata. So we go to someone's house and then they would teach us, or they would, I mean, teach maybe me because I was the only non-Italian, but they would cook something Italian like spaghetti with like you learn things like spaghetti alla carbonara, spaghetti alla gricia. Those are things kasi that they learn also. So it's like really parang everywhere I went, I think the life of cooking was always around me. So I think pretty much that's it. Just being around cooking, being around baking, maybe the necessity of having to cook in order to survive. Kasi, syempre, every day you eat. So if you want to eat something good, then you have to learn how to make it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much it.
Okay. Yeah, so you speak Italian.
Yes, I do. But
Talaga, fluent. Okay, meron pala
yeah.
kaming pinsan, may pamangkin pala kaming marunong mag-ano. That's good. Okay. So, did that have anything to do with your cooking, baking skills already?
I yeah, because it's when I got married kasi uh parang yun how do you say this? It's parang like bringing in what you learn in your family. So meaning like at home with my parents, and then a combination of what my husband's family eats again. So parang like there's life of eating na naman. Parang like you learn their combinations, like their like for example sinigang na baboy has to be with lumpiang toge, and then sinigang na baka has to be with lumpiang bangus. Like you learn parang like you learn combinations, and you learn new things that are parang like what they enjoy eating that you would like to serve to them, and then you also bring in things that you eat at home that you would like them to taste, parang like a part of you. So I don't know, maybe it's just me, but parang my life has been unavoidable always in the kitchen cooking. And then when my kids were when my kids were still young, um like they would talk about like a favorite cake that they would like to try.
Mm-hmm.
So it's either I would buy it outside or I would make it at home
Mm-hmm.
for myself, for my kids to try. So I don't know. Maybe it's because they know and see me around the kitchen that they ask me to cook or to bake for them all the time.
Pero,
Um,
Chinit,
yes.
you had two Saldariaga Lacson. Those are Ilonggo names. So
Yes.
did that ever enrich your culinary DNA? Knowing that you're Tagalog, and then
Mhm.
you have Ilonggo influence already with your husband.
Uh, Honestly, the only Ilonggo thing that I can make is kansi and kansi and chicken inasal.
Oh,
That's pretty
okay.
much it. Kasi I don't know. I really don't know. But maybe on my mom's side, siguro it's it's more of it's really more of the Reyes. It's really more. I think it's really more from the Reyes side that I learned the cooking. I
Okay.
don't know. I don't want naman not to give credit to my dad's family or my husband's family, but it's really more on the parang Reyes side talaga.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, and then first, how did you meet your husband? Was he there in Italy with you, or?
Yes.
Oo.
Paano?
No, no. My husband is actually a cousin of my classmate from high
Mm-hmm.
school,
Mm.
and during the time that okay, after my cousin and my classmate went to the states, and then so for a while they did not see each other. When she came back here for vacation, she said she wanted to go out, so she said, I'll bring my cousin and like and our friends. So so we were not naman blind date, we were just set up to go out, and then after that we just got along, and then talking to each other, we found out that our parents, apparently my parents and his parents, know each other from way back in the parang in the 60s during college, because his grandmother and grandfather, Louis and Didi Feria, are close friends of my grandparents, Andy and Bing Reyes. They were parang like they were golf mates, they were best friends. They would travel together to China, to Shanghai, to like, to all sorts of places. And then it also turns out that our great grandfather Lolo Andoy, who's originally from Bacolod, came to Manila with Jorge Vargas and and Kadoy, I think it's Kadoy Lacson. They came to Manila from Bacolod in with their tampipi riding a boat. So parang the family history, I mean the history of our families knowing each other for a very very long time, I guess like just like made us more interesting to each other. And then eventually when my mom found that when we were already engaged to be married, one day my mom entered my room at 6 in the morning, and then she woke me up. I said, Mommy, it's 6 in the morning. Why are you waking up? She said, Do you realize that when you marry Luigi, you're going to be Delia Lacson? So I said, oh, okay. So what's the connection? So she said, Delia Lacson is the most beautiful woman in Bacolod. And she's actually the first cousin of my lolo-in-law. She said, my mom was saying, I was named Delia after that woman. And so now that you're finally marrying Luigi, you're going to be Delia Lacson. So, I mean, it's really, like it's such a funny story because of the interconnection of my family and his family, and parang like how we met so many years, parang like so many years later. So
Okay.
that's it.
Galing.
Very nice. So
Parang
from
weird,
there,
no?
it's good that he allowed you to pursue a career and not just bake at home.
Yeah. Actually, it was okay because I joined the bake shop very late na formally, no. I used to have my own business at home, and I preferred to have my business at home because I wanted to be really a full-time mom to my sons. Because we lived well, now I live much further south. We live in Alabang kasi. So parang like the thought of going to work, like somewhere in Makati, or and then coming home late, and then I don't get to see my kids, I don't get to sit down with them for homework. Parang it didn't really sit so well with me. So I prefer to have a business at home. That's why that's why I started my baking business at home. And my mom actually would notice whenever I would bring something new to her, she would give, well, I don't know if it's typical of moms to do this, because I don't have in I have two boys kasi. But like she would say, okay, this one, siguro when you started mixing this, you used a flat beater. You're supposed to use a wire whip for this one. Or she would say na, okay, this one tastes a little bit eggy. So, parang like that was the only time that she started seeing my interest in baking. So like she would start giving me parang like her professional tips and parang secrets to like how to bake more successfully. So of course, like the encouragement, like made my business grow a little more. But it was always home based because of my preference to be, like to be with my kids. But
What was your
um
business? What did you call it?
dolcissima means
Dol
very sweet. Dolcissima means very
Dolcissima.
sweet.
Oh,
Yes, it means very sweet. So I actually made custom cakes and cupcakes. A little bread, but really more on cakes, because at the time, I guess, advantage of being a younger, parang like a younger mom with friends who had school aged kids also. Parang like when they would have birthday parties, they would call me and ask me to make their birthday cakes and the cupcakes, the giveaways for their kids. So for me, it was fun. I learned a lot, and then probably the creative side in me came out because they would show me pictures of things to make for them, and then looking at the pictures, how am I supposed to do this? So I had to like learn talagang self teach, how to make like a dog that a cupcake that looks like a dog. Or there was one request naman na she was going to have a popcorn movie party, so I had to make cupcakes with popcorn looking marshmallows, to go with the theme. So parang it really brought out the creative side of me that I actually didn't know was there, because parang it's I don't know, things that you learn over the years that didn't exist before. Kasi before, cakes were decorated in a different way. Everyone did
yeah.
the Wilton style of decorating. Now kasi it's like it's really parang like use your imagination to try to come up with something that's different.
Freestyle. Freestyle.
Mm-mm.
Anyway, what was your specialty then? I remember.
My huh?
No, I do remember certain cakes that you did.
Yeah. Well, my specialty, I guess, at the time was really just the cupcakes. Uh, because it was, I don't know, maybe because the designs were a little bit different, a little bit unique.
But you had a
So,
special cake with a special name.
mm, me?
The the BTS, diba?
That's my mom. That's my
Ah,
mom. That's not
nasa
me.
mama
I
ba
cannot.
yun?
I cannot claim that that's my
Yung
mom's creation.
mom yun.
Baka
Sabi
naman
ko na
she'll
yung
get
mommy mo,
mad at
no?
me. Oh,
Ano?
that's my mom's creation. It's actually called better.
Erotic.
Baka mamaya masensor, ha. It's called Better Than Sex. It was a
Wow.
cake that she created, I think around I think that was maybe uh 1990 or 1991.
Yeah.
It's
Wow,
um it's
90s.
it's a dark chocolate cake that has a lot of
Crunch.
kasi mami, if I tell you what it's inside, she'll get mad. Anyway, it's a dark chocolate cake with chocolate sauce. It's the icing that covers the cake. It's like a parfait. So it's almost ice cream, but it's not quite ice cream. Parang like it's the flavor of a rich vanilla ice cream, but it's not ice cream. It's icing, and then it's covered with it's topped with honey crunch dipped in chocolate, hardened chocolate, and then drizzled with more chocolate sauce. So it's called Better Than Sex, but so as not to offend, we just call it BTS. But again, that's my mom's creation, not mine, because she'll kill me. She'll
Oh wait,
say, "Oh, you're
I
telling
want
everyone that
wait.
BTS is no."
No, but let's ask Anton. Anton, is there anything better than sex for you?
Wala. Meron ba?
Ha?
Yung
Talaga?
chocolate. Chocolate.
Well,
Alam mo
you know,
naman si
maybe for
Anton
the
eh.
virgins.
Okay, anyway, sorry.
Yeah, okay. Aside from that, since we're talking about things that I don't know if I'm bragging
Yes.
already. If we're going to start talking about the
Fine.
things that my mom
Yes.
created, because I
I
get my
want to know.
inspiration from my mom,
Yes.
and I get my inspiration from my Lola Ashang, mostly because parang for Lola Ashang kasi um, I I guess important for me to bring up, because when like sina Tita Nancy or my mom or my other titas would talk about Lola Ashang, they would say na parang like she was always very particular in the kitchen. Kailangan palaging masarap ang pagkain, di ba? So parang like you really put a lot of love in what you cook because you serve it to your family. Even in the restaurant setting and in the bake shop setting, what is good at parang like it should be parang like what is good enough for your family, you serve also to other people, di ba? I mean, otherwise, parang wag mo na lang siyang itinda. So, parang my inspiration in trying to keep the quality and keep the good name of the bake shop is because of what Lola Ashang taught her children and her grandchildren. Now, my inspiration coming from my mom, I guess in a way I would call her um, innovative, because like she started a few things that we have to admit naman, parang imitated by others, just as with our Aristocrat barbecue. You see all of like several restaurants that have the combination of the barbecue, java sauce, java rice, and achara. Okay, so that's restaurant. For bake shop naman, everyone has the cheese roll. The
Yeah.
cheese roll was actually
Oo.
started by my mom in
Yes.
1976.
Original.
Wait, Chinit,
Original.
what's the name of your mom para maano natin?
Girly Zaldariaga.
Salteriaga.
Okay,
Okay.
just a
Girl,
bit about Girly coming from me, her cousin. Girly is one of the elder granddaughters of Aling Asyang. So we came in maybe a few years behind them. So they were the ones we would look up to when they were dalagas, and they would also be so beautiful. And kaming mga bagets noon, we would look up to them. But Girly, Girly, one of the one of her passions really was baking, and I know she would tell us that she learned went to Maurli Chauco. Maurli Chauco happens to be, I think, the sister of Cory, diba? So she was doing that, and I remember her chocolate cake with walnuts was one of them, and that was still back in the 60s. So that's Girly Delia Saldariaga. Chinit is a Delia Junior.
yeah.
Pero question, may Aristocrat Bakeshop na ng 1960s?
None.
No,
It
the
was
bake shop
Girly,
was founded 1976.
yes. So
76.
may
Okay.
I
Kasi
add, when at the death of the matriarch Aling Asya, Aristocrat was only known for the savory, and kung meron mang dessert, it would be like leche flan. Wala pa yat. I don't remember leche flan, but definitely halo-halo. So we were the clan was not into Western desserts like cakes. Wala pang may alam. So
wala
it
pa.
really took in the initiative to dare and to ask for funding to start up the bake shop. Kasi other than that, there was also Auntie Juliet Reyes before her who was making wedding cakes. Pang wedding cakes talaga, and the aristocrat, pag may mag-wedding, they would make the cake. There was also Sister Mary. and another auntie, a nun, who was also into baking. So Girly, Girly learned steps from them, and then but Girly was the one who took the dare to put up a bake shop. Hindi lang pang party, but to really have a bake shop store in the compound of Aristocrat. And she
Wow.
started cheese roll. So whoever, oh, ito na, sorry Chinita, magtataray na ako. Whoever would be saying that they invented cheese roll, they are mistaken. Because it was really Girly who popularized it, who innovated on it, and who did it and made it successful, and she promoted it, and and the rest is history. Aristocrat um, serves the original cheese roll. I will now keep quiet.
Oo, paano nangyari yung cheese roll? What's the story of the cheese roll?
Uh, it's when she okay, she would visit with family in on my dad's side in Iloilo. And whenever, because when you go home to the province, you go around and you eat everywhere. You eat, like you eat lumpia, and you eat, you eat inasal, and you eat, pancit molo. You try the different, parang like you try the different specialties of the province. And my dad had a tita, si Tita Balbinet, and she had a small bakery outside, parang inside her house, and she had this product na cheese roll, um, bread with cheese inside. So my mom asked her permission. She said, "Can I, parang like, can I make my own version of your cheese roll?" Parang she asked permission from the Tita Balbinet if she could make her own version of cheese roll and bring it to Manila. So, I mean, of course, parang like being parang proud of a product that is, parang successful to someone else. She gave her go signal. So when my mom came to Manila, she, like, she started, parang like making the cheese roll for the bake shop. And finally, on the day that they started selling it in the store, parang wala pang 1 hour, naubos na lahat ng cheese roll, because it was something new. Parang a combination of some, because but the cheese roll is so it's parang like it's a bread dough with cheese inside, but then outside it has butter, it has sugar. So it's a combination of something salty, which is in the cheese, and then a bread na parang topped with something that is sweet, so in the sugar and the butter. So parang like at that time, it was a combination that was not really very common
Wow.
in other places, because most bake shops had everything that was always like super super sweet, 'di ba? If you wanted something savory, usually walang kasamang sugar. So it was parang like it was something that was new, that was parang unique. So it became such a hit. So that was in 1976, if I remember right, 1976 in first cheese roll. So we are now at 46 years later. Still, cheese
Wow.
roll is still our number one bread product.
Ah, talaga? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. So maybe you can tell us. Baka may pictures na.
Yes,
Uh,
yes. You can share the pictures.
Kasi you'll also have to tell us about the another aristocrat specialty. Sorry, we're kind of medyo nag-aano kami ng flagpole nun. Also because we
Yeah.
want to protect the brand and
Mm-mm.
the product. So that the Cresta, the Torta de los Reyes is another one
Yes.
that made history.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Torta de
Okay.
los Reyes naman, that
Oo.
I'm that sorry, do I have time to talk about Torta de
Yes,
los
yes. Go
Reyes?
ahead, go ahead. And then
Okay,
we'll go
Torta
to
de
the
los
photo itself.
Reyes is actually a creation of Tita Lu Reyes Pabalan.
Yeah.
She was head of the bake shop after my mom, and because torta de los reyes, I guess, literally means cake cake for the kings, diba? Or cake of the kings. And when you think of the combination of torta de los reyes, which is a Sansival, and then it has French cocoa buttercream and French buttercream, um, covered with chocolate ganache. Parang the idea is parang so it's just so rich compared to, I mean, not naman to put down the original Sans Rival, which is the wafers and the French buttercream. But that's it, eh. Butter lang siya. Ang Torta de los Reyes, it has chocolate, and I think that's something that a lot of people also cannot resist, diba? So the combination of something that's already good, which is in the Sans Rival, added with the cocoa buttercream and the chocolate ganache. Parang like the combination is so rich.
Wow.
It's not that, I mean, to me it's not that sweet, but it's so rich. It's so parang you parang it will make you feel like royalty when you eat it, even if you're not a king. Kasi parang it's really, like it's really made for royalty. Kasi it's really so good. It's really so good. I'm not a big fan of chocolate cakes. I'm more into, I like vanilla cake, I like cheesecake, but the de los Reyes is one of the few chocolate things that I will actually eat because it's really good, and not because I'm a Reyes and not because I work for Aristocrat, but because it's really good. And it
Oo,
was
sarap.
it
Ang sarap
was
nga.
yeah, we received a plaque of appreciation from SM, and I think that was 2014. It was named Best Dessert of the Year. So, I mean, I wish I took a picture of the plaque, but it's there in our store. Parang syempre, like that's parang something to be proud of also.
Oo.
Because
Saka
again, it's parang spin-off of the popular Sansival, but in a version that's so unique because it's really good.
Oo, tsaka it's hard to copy, I think, ang galing nung pagka-combine, eh.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess until today, walang makakopya, di ba? Or
Wala
there
talaga.
are versions, pero ang ganda ng pagka-combine, eh. The best of
Mm-mm.
chocolate and the best of sun.
At
Yeah,
saka
that's
Anton,
the
it's
genius of Tita Lou.
yeah, it's 1 million calories per cake.
Per bite. Per bite. Tita
Per
Nancy, per
bite?
bite.
Grabe. Pag nakakain
Oh,
ka
pero
ng isang buo, parang nakaka-guilty ka na for one whole day. Anyway,
ganun ba? Anyway, okay. Let's go to the photos, no? Some of the travel photos to get more into context of Chit.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Chinit, maybe caption it na lang. Medyo naka-random
Okay.
din. Ano.
Yeah, this was in 2014. We went my parents treated us to their golden anniversary. So they took us on a cruise, and we went to Italy. I went to Italy, sorry, we all went to Italy. My sister and I decided that we would take cooking courses. So this one, we learned how to make homemade pasta. So this is a day of cooking
who
with
is this sister? Whose sister? We can see so well. It's dark.
Oo.
Sylvia, my older
Sylvia.
sister.
Okay. Another pretty woman. Okay.
My ate Sylvia. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that's
Ito.
one of
Wow.
the that's a set of cupcakes that I made for the debut of a friend's daughter.
So,
So this is what
open pa tong Dolce si
no, no more na because
no more na.
that's my
That's the home
personal
base.
business, eh.
Oo,
So because
personal
I
base.
work for Aristocrat, I don't entertain anymore. But this, I guess I wanted to show this one because when my friend told me it's my daughter's debut, can you come up with like assorted cupcakes, like I want flowery, like dainty and all that. Then I actually had no idea how I was going to make it because parang like I was really stuck on just making cupcakes with icings. But because when my kids were young, I used to do play-doh with them. So play-doh, like you learn to use your hands to make little shapes. So when I got the fondant, I said, parang I can do the same thing that you do with Play-Doh. So parang that's where parang my creative side came out, and parang learned how to do all of these things just with imagination, things that I picked up from before. So that's a batch of
Galing.
cupcakes that I made for
So
someone.
that is fondant. Fondant.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
Anong
okay.
year ka to?
This
Or,
is around 2011 or 2012.
ah, okay. Ano lang, recently lang, almost. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Ah,
This yeah. This one, these are my
Sino to?
favorite cousins. They're actually yeah, a lot younger
Carla is
than me,
yan.
maybe about 20 years younger than me. Kathy is maybe about 7 or 8 years younger than me. Carla is the daughter of Tita Millie of the Plaza, but also one of Aria's cousins. And then there in the front, that's Gabby. She's the niece of Tita Nancy. And then in the
Ah,
back, that's my son Gio. We had the reunion dinner when reunion lunch with Kathy in MOA about two last month, and then the four of us went through all the way through dinner na kasi this is our group from our parang we have a small group of cousins kasi that are thinking of ways parang like succession planning for the family business.
yes.
So this is the core group of the cousins. So they are my cousins even if they look so much younger than me. Parang
Okay.
Tita Nancy and ay parang para kaming cousins, but I'm actually her pamangkin.
Well, I have to introduce
oo.
the fourth. Chinit is fourth generation Reyes.
For generation na.
Yes. And
Yes.
the clan has thought that it's really time for proper professional succession, and
Mm-mm.
I think this is something that's good for other families that are in businesses. We are trying to establish the family code. So, for those who have big plans or big families in one business, that is also what maybe you could think of that. And the fourth generation, are the ones trying to formulate the constitution, sort of,
Ang
of
galing
a
ah.
family code. It will be family culture, and then on the other hand, the business culture of the family. So that's something that we, even in the third generation, have not thought of or conceived. But because the fourth generation is modern, digital, and they have a different kind of thinking ahead, they're thinking ahead. So this was a good move, and Chinit
Yeah.
is one of them.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
okay.
because
Family code.
yeah, parang I guess the importance because it's a business that's continuing to grow,
Yeah.
and parang like majority of the ones involved are still from the third generation. So, I guess we need to plan for the future. If if I think of myself as being part of the fourth generation, but I am in the older batch of fourth generation, we
Oo.
really have to think of passing it on to our younger cousins, nephews, and
Oo.
nieces. Kasi Aristocrat is 85, turning 86 this year. So I don't think we're going to stop there. If we survived, if we live for like 85 years already, meron pa yan another 85 years to come. And it has to be given back.
Okay.
Oo.
All
Wait.
right. Anyway, so what Chinit is saying na that's as I said, the third generation family members passed it on to the fourth generation to think of ways to to save the values and the business values, business skills, cooking skills, and the integrity of the recipes and the business itself. Yung service, Chinit, are you there?
Wala pa siya. So,
Wala.
ganda nung story ah. Sandali.
Yeah, that's why, sana, as people are listening to this in the replay, you should really think about doing a family code para,
Mhm.
as they say in the Chinese families, pagdating ng third generation, nag-iiba na. 'Di ba?
Oo.
Hindi na yung pasok ng pera sa isang bulsa, labas sa kabila para ang gastos ta's kung ano yung matira for the day, yun na yun. That is the way Asyang was thinking. Tapos nag-modernize sa generation ng third generation. Pero now, the fourth is digital. So,
Mhm.
okay. Anyway, um, are we... Maybe you can just show some of the photos that we
Oo,
might be able to
sige.
recognize.
Ah, baka
While
nagbawas
we're
ako.
waiting for Chinit.
Oo.
These are the sisters.
These are
Um,
the sisters. Ilan ba sila? Puro girls?
no, they are four or
Ayan.
five.
Yan na, yan na.
Yun na, Chinit. Okay. Next photo.
Sorry. Okay. Sorry. That's my sisters and I in Rome. That
Yeah.
was also during our cruise. Rome kasi is special to the three of us because
Why?
we were, I think when I don't know, maybe it applies to everyone, but visiting Italy or visiting foreign countries at the height of your teens. I was in Italy when I was 18, 19, 20, 21. You really get to enjoy the place because you understand more the culture, you understand more the people, and you take sightseeing a little bit more seriously when you're older because you already appreciate things. So this is the three of us having dinner in Rome.
Please name them.
Okay, on the left, that's Sylvia, my the oldest among the three of us, and then in the middle, that's Kelly, and then on the right, that's me.
Kelly sails boats.
Yes, she used to a long time ago. She actually qualified for the Sea Games in I think 1993 or 1992.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
Wow.
she actually raced during the Sea Games before.
Mhm.
Nice.
All right.
Okay, next.
Okay,
Ano
that's the
to?
three of us. That's the three of us clowning around in San Marino. Because Italy is you can travel all throughout Italy, maybe except Palermo and Sardinia by land. So we actually did a lot of road trips. So
The
this
road
is the
trips.
three of us in San Marino. It's actually a small republic inside Italy. It's sort of near Rimini. So that's the three of us clowning around. Kasi
Okay.
the three of us are very close eh.
Oo, you're very close, no? Ang galing, ah.
That's nice.
Mm-mm.
All of you are involved with Aristocrat?
Only
No.
me.
Only you. Okay.
Yes.
But we love them all. Okay. Yan na yung family. Okay.
Okay. This is
Ah, ito
this
yung
is
family.
my this is my family. I don't know if you can see the pictures clearly. Okay,
We can.
standing up on the left, that's my younger son Andy. His name is actually Andres Luis, so he is named after my grandfather and my husband's grandfather, the ones who were best friends, si Lolo Lou and
Ah,
Lolo Andy.
galing.
Okay, and then to his right, and the next, that's Luigi, that's my husband. And then that's Joey, our eldest. He's actually the eldest grandson of Lolo Andy, and I believe the first male grandchild of Lolo Andoy and Lola Ashang. And
Yeah.
then
Ah,
next to him, that is Francis Xavier. That's the son of my sister. And then
ito.
that's my sister's husband, Eduardo. And then my son, Gio. Jose Luis again, Jose Luis Simeon. He is named after my dad and my father-in-law. And then that's on the rightmost, that's Eduardo Pertiera. He is the eldest son of my sister, following in the footsteps of our grandfather and great grandfather. he's actually preparing to take the bar exams. So hopefully he
Right.
will be the first lawyer in our small clan. And then behind the one seated, that's Erica, my sister-in-law, and then that's Sylvia, my sister, and then that's me. And then sitting are Alessandra, that's my sister's daughter, and then of course my mom, Girly,
There's
and
girl.
then yeah, and then that's Jippy, that's the son of my brother, and then my dad, and then Katrina, the eldest daughter of my sister, who is also the first grandchild of. She's the first of the fifth generation.
I have a trivia about your mom, girly.
Huh?
Because Asyang had so many children and
Mm-mm.
getting pregnant year after year, probably. That, such that at the last, in her last son, si Victor,
Mm-mm.
lumabas na lang, parang bro, gumano na lang. His foot, sabi niya, his foot got caught. That's why he was kind of, may pagka-problem yung foot niya.
Mm-mm.
And
Yeah.
Asyang, at her age then, I think she probably baka 40s now or something. She did not
Yes,
need
maybe.
milk anymore. So it was girly and her youngest son Victor, who Asyang asked the mother of girly, the lola of Chinit, to be the wet nurse. I
Mm-mm.
think people don't know what. Alam mo ba yung wet nurse, Anton? Yeah, a wet
Yes.
nurse. There's a mom who has milk, and she can provide milk for other babies.
For other babies.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Girly's mom, Tita Bing, became the wet nurse of Victor, the youngest son of Asyang.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
So
Yeah. They're 1 month apart lang eh.
yeah, so
One
Girly
month
was
apart
always
lang?
Yes. Yeah. Lola Vic or Uncle Vic is only a month older than my mom.
yeah.
Actually, weeks lang. Not
Weeks
even a month,
lang.
weeks lang. Yeah. His birthday is middle of July. My mom's birthday is first week of August. So
So
they're
ano,
weeks apart.
alam mo na kung gaano ka-L ang mga ang mga Reyes or ka-prolific.
Weeks apart during the war pa
Better than sex!
1941.
Better than sex!
Oo nga, kaya pala ganun yung title.
Joke lang. Joke lang. Sorry, I'm just okay.
Oh, ano to? Same din na.
Same,
Ah,
same. Wow.
yeah, this is one of the this is one of the Reyes reunions. It's actually smaller than than it should be, but this is fourth generation. This is just a fraction of us
Wow.
cousins, but you
Kapatid.
can see there's a combination of very young ones and then coming mga elders na kasi I have cousins that are 10 and 9 years old. The kids, the
Mhm.
children of Chin Chin is the second child of Lola Vic. So she's like about 15 or so years younger than me, or maybe 20 years younger than me. So her kids,
Wow.
who are my cousins, are like 10 and 9 years old only. So
Wow.
I know that parang like the age uh, of the fourth generation is like meron na kaming almost senior citizen, and then we have like those who are about to be born pa lang.
Okay.
Wow. Galing ah. Okay.
This one was a family trip with my parents in. This was my mom's treat naman when she retired from when she finally retired from Aristocrat. She treated us
Talaga.
to a trip to the US. So this is the entire clan again with all of the children. I'm well grandchildren and grandchildren. So this is the first time that we actually spent the holidays abroad, because usually Christmas we're here in Manila. So this is the first time that we spent Christmas and New Year's abroad. And actually, parang like at one point we were saying like shouldn't we be in Aristocrat by now? The reunion, kasi it was on the 25th. That's when we all see each other, and because a lot of our family is abroad, either Europe or in the US, or some of them in Canada. Christmas Day is really the one time that the Reyeses all come and see each other. So this is the first time that we actually missed that reunion.
Nice. Galing.
Right.
Okay, this is me in Rome, having my quiet moment, enjoying
Good
the view
time.
of of the Roman Forum, because I'm an art history major. So for
Ah,
me, yeah,
Mhm.
and I think parang because I lived in Rome, it was really the best place to be to study art history, because you can at the time when I was in college, my first 2 years in college, when we would learn about when we would have our art classes or our art history lessons, everything was projected lang in slides, or we would see them in pictures, books, encyclopedias. So
Okay.
being in Italy, and learning about art and then seeing it in person is, like, it's something really, really special. I remember there was a time when um, our professor said, okay, tomorrow we're going to have an exam. Please study chapter this to this, and then, like, be prepared for your test. So I crammed that evening. The following day, when I went to class, the classroom was empty, and then there was a sign, please proceed to the Roman Forum. So I had to hurry up and ride the bus, go to the Roman Forum. And when all of us got there, our class, when we got there, the professor said, okay, pick a spot where you want to sit for the next 30 minutes, and then take your exam. I was like, huh? In the Roman Forum. So,
Wow, nice.
I mean, like, it's something that I guess I'm really lucky I experienced at the time, because if you go and visit Italy now, sadly things are very, very different. Because of things that happened in the past, like partly due to terrorism, and maybe the volume also of tourists. There are some areas that are actually restricted to public access already. So I think being there in the 80s, when parang like it was still free for all, I really enjoyed myself.
Okay.
galing ah.
Next.
Really big advantage for me at that time.
All right.
Last.
Mm.
Ito na yung
Next.
last.
Okay. This last picture, this was actually our family lunch in Greece. This was during the cruise, and we were all walking and walking and walking, and finally, my dad said, we have to stop walking, we have to sit down and eat, because eating again for us, for our family, whether it's the Reyes family or the Zaldariaga family, it's something that we really enjoy. So this was lunch for us in Greece.
Okay. Well, very
Nice.
interesting. Yeah. So,
Mm-mm.
all right. So, Chinit, we know that you're very hardworking and
Yeah.
you're passionate about baking.
Mm-mm.
So, maybe a few last words that,
Mm-mm.
unless Anton wants to ask anything.
Siguro ako lang last question lang, Chinit, kasi
Mm-mm.
most of the managers of Aristocrat Bakeshop have a signature cake, I guess. No? Parang a stamp on Aristocrat. What's your specialty ba? Or you're still figuring that out? Or is there a
Me,
signature
okay.
cake
I
for
actually came up
Aristocrat
with,
Bakeshop?
yes. I launched the cake in 2020. I think that was June, Father's Day. I came up with a product called Chocolatissima.
Mm.
Chocolatissima. Uh, it's actually a chocolate mud cake that was a favorite of my friends when I still had my bake shop. So it's a layer of chocolate cake with chocolate mousse, chocolate ganache, chocolate drizzle, and cocoa powder. It's something that people refer to as dream cake, but it's actually a mud cake, and it's actually quite successful, I must say, because in a way it's different from most of the cakes that we make, kasi most of the cakes that we make are really sweet. This one kasi it's it's bittersweet. It's bittersweet dark chocolate, so it's something different and something that you should try.
Yeah.
Suggestion. Why don't you make a cake, Queen Elizabeth cake? Diba?
Okay. With hugs, yeah. Okay. Mm-mm. Yeah.
Okay, anyway.
I
All
actually
right.
also made a cake, a tribute cake from my mom. It's called the girly cake. It's a
Yeah.
What is it?
white
What is it?
chocolate cake. It's a white chocolate cake with white chocolate buttercream and then decorated with pink flowers on top. Pink flowers because my mom is she's so dainty, she's so feminine, and pink is one of her favorite colors. Like her cousins say that it's purple. Purple is the color of prosperity, but her favorite color is actually pink. So the cake is covered with pink flowers and then it has gold sprinkles. It's so much my mom.
Okay.
So
Wow. Okay. Oh, Nance.
Well,
Galing.
yeah, sometimes I feel uh, awkward that we interview relatives and friends, but at this point, I think the bake shop really was something that was thought of by Girly, and I wanted to protect the branding of the torta de
mm,
los reyes and the cheese roll and the more other things. And
mm,
Chinit, the other point is that Chinit, being fourth generation, the business carries on,
mm,
diba? So
mm,
that's it. That's one thing.
yeah,
Thank you.
mm, yeah.
Anyway, thank you very much, Chinit, for being with
Thank you
us.
also, Tita Nancy and Anton.
Yeah, Tito Anton.
Any
Tito,
final advice to
yeah.
to kasi during the pandemic, a lot of are doing home based, no? And then when
Mm-mm,
after 2 years, a lot of them
mm-mm.
have a hard time either scaling up or pursuing. Any advice to,
Yes,
people who are starting to bake and what do you think? Kasi 2022 na tayo ngayon. Well, what do
yeah,
you think would
yeah.
work in this space and you could give advice to them?
Okay, I think for me, maybe the best advice that I can give is, when you come up with a product and you find something that uh seems to, I don't know what word to call it, but if it becomes your specialty product, I guess you have to work on maintaining the quality, parang putting it out always in its best form, because during the pandemic we actually experienced a lot of our suppliers were like on lockdown for 2 weeks, cannot get butter, cannot get this, they cannot get so many ingredients from nearby stores. And with the help of suppliers that we've had for the last, parang like loyal suppliers namin for the last like 40 years, like we were somehow able to, to get ingredients pa rin on time, because we would rather not sell the product if the ingredients are not complete. So I guess with those who are coming up with their new businesses, with their baking businesses, once you have a product, you have to protect it in such a way that you maintain the ingredients that you used from the first time that you sold it until today, 'di ba? Maybe if you can do a little improvement on packaging, on branding, that's it. But as far as ingredients are concerned, like the quality always has to be the same. Kasi once it changes, then, I mean, parang, like people will not see it the same way anymore. And I think the home bakers, I think that's something that they know, because it's kept them alive for the last, like for the last 2 years. Of course, now that everything is open already, parang like the markets are open, of course there's a lot more competition na. But I think if they were able to serve good products in the last 2 years, they will be able to maintain parang like the customers that they got during the last 2 years. If
Okay.
they serve them really good products, then their customers will stay loyal to them.
All right. a very, very nice way to end and with all your
Mm.
advice. Thank you very much, Chinit. And
Thank you, Tita Nancy, and thank you, Tito Anton.
yeah, in family food. Wish I would see you and taste all the delicious ones. God is good. Thank you.
Yeah, if I can
Yes.
send you a box there.
Watch out for the replay, especially to the 1001 relatives of Chinit. Okay, see you. Bye bye.
Okay, see you.
So,
Thank
live
you.
an awesome life, guys. Thank you.
Awesome
Thanks.
life.
Bye bye.